Hey everyone, it's Alex here. Today, I've got something truly special to share with you, all a secret I've been keeping for a while now. You won't believe this, but during what seemed like a regular birthday celebration, I pulled off the biggest surprise of my life. And no, it wasn't just another gift or a simple birthday wish. In that exact moment, with just a nod and two simple words, I do the world around me seem to explode with happiness. Can you imagine that my proposal turned Tuna's birthday into the most unforgettable day of my life? If you're curious about how this incredible moment unfolded, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, there are plenty more surprises waiting for you. Stay tuned and join me to find out what happens next. Tonight, I find myself alone in a quiet room, my eyes fixed on the small ring resting in the palm of my hand. This ring has been with me through it all. It's seen the times I nervously asked Tuna to be mine, and witnessed every moment she gently shook her head. Countless hopes followed by disappointments, but never once did I think about giving up. I knew deep down, if I stayed patient, if my love was genuine enough, there would come a day when I could reach her heart. The workday had ended, and I leaned back in my chair, closing my eyes. Suddenly, it hit me. Today, it's Tuna's birthday, a special day. A day I couldn't let slip by. My heart started racing each beat, telling me, this is the moment. There's no more time to waste. I reached into my pocket, feeling the cold metal of the familiar ring. Every scratch on it is a mark of the time I've spent waiting, hoping. I smiled to myself and whispered, Tuna, I promise to love you, to take care of you for the rest of my life. No matter what your answer is today, I'll never give up on you. Without wasting another second, I called my favorite restaurant and reserved a private table in a cozy corner, surrounded by the warm glow of candlelight. I gave the staff detailed instructions. Everything had to be perfect. From the fresh roses on the table, to the soft lighting, to the music that would play the moment Tuna walked in. Everything had to be just right, just like the love I have for her, complete and unwavering. And as the evening drew closer, I sat back, closed my eyes, and imagined the look of surprise on Tuna's face when she entered that room. The mix of excitement, nerves, and hope in my chest pushed me toward the future I dreamed of. Can you guess what's coming next? Will tonight's answer change everything? What will these moments bring? Join me to find out, and don't miss the most important moment of my life. This afternoon, I found myself speeding down a dusty road that led me back to the familiar farm. The late afternoon sun cast a golden glow over the vast fields, and the gentle breeze carried the fresh scent of grass and earth. As I pulled up in front of the gate, the first thing I saw was Tuna. She was sitting quietly at an old bamboo table, her presence as peaceful and simple as a painting. The warm light of the sunset wrapped around her like a soft curtain, turning everything into something tender and serene. Without thinking, I smiled suddenly. All the weariness from the day seemed to vanish in that one moment. Inside the small house, Henry was peacefully asleep on his cozy bed. Looking at the two of them, I wanted to tell them both, I'll be the rock you and Henry can always lean on forever. I walked up to her with a big smile and gently asked, Do you have any plans for today? Tuna seemed startled for a second. her eyes searching for a response she couldn't quite find. She quietly answered, I was just going to the garden to pick some vegetables." In that moment, I looked at her with all the happiness in my heart, mixed with an unspoken worry I couldn't shake. I hesitated for a moment before saying, "I want to take you and Henry out. Just for a few hours." The three of us. Tuna lowered her head, her fingers nervously twisting together, her expression a mix of shyness and hesitation. Yet there was also a glimmer of hope in her eyes. I smiled inwardly, feeling that quiet hope blooming inside me as well. But what I didn't know was that from behind the thick trees, a pair of cold, mysterious eyes were watching us. A gaze so chilling that it sent a shiver down my spine. I didn't know who it belonged to, and I couldn't begin to guess what it meant. But one thing was for sure, there was something dangerous lurking in the shadows, especially with Henry innocent and asleep inside that little house. This peaceful moment may just be the calm before the storm. That afternoon, I gently handed Henry over to his grandmother, Mrs. Min, to look after him. Watching him sleep peacefully in her arms, I felt an unexpected sense of calm. I knew it was time to do something truly important, a big step forward for both me and Tuna. We got in the car, and I drove her to a small clothing store in the city. The shop wasn't big, but there was something incredibly cozy about it. As we walked in, I noticed a hint of uncertainty in Tuna's eyes. She glanced around, then looked at me as if waiting for something. I just smiled and quietly picked out a dress, elegant and soft, just like the image of her I had in my heart. Tuna looked at me with curiosity, a smile tugging at her lips as she asked, "What are you trying to surprise me with?" I chuckled lightly and shook my head, not answering. I knew the real surprise would come later when she could feel the depth of my love. After that, we headed to the restaurant I'd prepared in advance. When the door opened, Tuna was stunned by the atmosphere inside. Candlelight flickered softly over vases of fresh flowers, and the gentle music in the background set the mood for an intimate, romantic evening. The table was set with exquisite dishes, every detail whispering, "Tonight is for you, only for you." I pulled out the chair for her, then sat across from her. My heart was racing, but a smile stayed on my face. I looked into her eyes full of love and expectation, and I slowly said, "Happy birthday. Today is special not just for you, but for me too. Because I have you here, sitting right next to me." Tuna's eyes widened in surprise, her lips parting, as if she wanted to say something, but no words came out. She finally whispered, "How did you know today was my birthday?" Her eyes sparkled with joy and a touch of emotion. In that moment, I saw a pure, genuine happiness in her eyes, and I knew every effort, every moment I'd waited for, it had all been worth it. Seeing her smile, that was the moment I'd been waiting for all this time. The world seemed to slow down around me, and the air was filled with an overwhelming sense of romance, making time feel like it had stopped. Soft music drifted through the space, and the flickering candlelight reflected in Tuna's eyes, turning everything into a dreamlike moment. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat like a desperate call from deep within. I took a deep breath, my fingers brushing the familiar coolness of the ring in my pocket. It was a promise I'd been quietly carrying for months. In that moment, I knew This was the most important moment of my life. If I missed it, I feared I might never get another chance. The fear and hope mixed inside me, making it impossible to stop now. I stood up and walked slowly toward Tuna. She looked up at me, her eyes wide with surprise, not understanding what was happening. I could feel her gaze, silent but full of expectation. Then I knelt down in front of her, pulling the ring from my pocket. The candlelight glimmered off the small stone, making it shine like a star in the night sky. My voice trembled, but I couldn't stop myself. Tuna, I've waited for this day for so long. I promise to love you, to care for you and Henry with all my heart. Will you be my wife? The room seemed to stand still for a few seconds. For me, it felt like an eternity, a lifetime of waiting. Tuna raised her hand to her mouth. Her eyes filled with tears, unable to speak. The world around us was silent, except for the sound of my heart beating faster and louder. In that stillness, I didn't dare breathe, afraid that even the smallest sound would shatter the moment. Would she say no, like before? Would I face that disappointment once more? Then unexpectedly, Tuna nodded. Just one nod, but to me, it was as if the universe had collapsed and exploded in joy. A brilliant smile spread across my face, and my hands trembled as I gently slid the ring onto her delicate finger. Tuna burst into tears, but these were tears of happiness. She whispered softly, her voice shaky but warm. I say yes. Alex. In that moment, I pulled her into my arms, and my heart felt like it was about to burst from the overwhelming happiness. Everything around us seemed to come alive. The music swelled. The candles flickered brighter, as if the world itself was witnessing and blessing us. In my arms, Tuna felt small, but so incredibly warm. In that moment, I understood that every struggle, every challenge, every effort had been worth it. I whispered into her ear, "Thank you for giving me this chance. I promise I will never let go of you or Henry for the rest of my life." We sat down at the dinner table, our eyes still glistening with tears of happiness. This small celebration wasn't just Tuna's birthday. It was the beginning of a new journey where three hearts would come together to write the story of a real family. A story I had dreamed of for so long. But what comes next? Is happiness ever truly this easy? I looked at Tuna, feeling each of her gentle breaths, and wondered if life would ever give me a second chance to hold on to happiness like this. For the first time, I felt that life was truly perfect because I had her and our child, two people I would protect and love forever. But in the sweetness of this moment, I couldn't help but feel a hint of unease. The gentle breeze outside the window, the rustling leaves, it all seemed to remind me that life is never simple, and the road ahead would undoubtedly be filled with challenges. But with Tuna and Henry by my side, I knew I would never have to face anything alone. As the evening drew to a close, and the night began to settle in Tuna, and I stood together, gazing into the future, where three hearts beat as one, I whispered to her, "We'll make it through. Everything, won't we?" Tuna smiled, nodding her hand tightly holding mine. And in that moment, I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, writing our love story, a story that nothing could ever break. Our future, beginning on a night as beautiful as this, would always be a journey filled with love, sacrifice, and hope. And I truly believe that no matter how many storms we face, this love will be the solid ground we all stand on. Our new journey had just begun.
Một ngày đặc biệt, một ngày mà tôi không được phép bỏ lỡ. Trái tim tôi dồn dập từng nhịp thôi thúc. Đây chính là thời khắc của mình, không thể chần chừ thêm nữa. Tôi lặng lẽ thò tay vào túi, cảm nhận hơi lạnh từ chiếc nhẫn quen thuộc. Mỗi vết xước trên nhẫn như khắc ghi sự chờ đợi của tôi bấy lâu nay. Tôi mỉm cười thì thầm trong lòng, Tina, anh sẽ hứa chăm sóc cho em cả đời. Câu trả lời hôm nay là gì? Anh vẫn sẽ không ngừng cố gắng. Không chờ đêm một giây phút nào, tôi gọi ngay cho nhà hàng.